Hi, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of The Smart 7 is brought to you by Sainsbury's, where you can save big on festive favourites with nectar prices. It may be November, but Christmas is just around the corner, and that means you probably need to start your Christmas party planning. But the good news is that if you're looking for value for money this Christmas, Sainsbury's have great discounts to make your festive season truly magical. For example, this week you can get half price on Bailey's Original with 1 litre for just £11, 789 Prosecco for £5.50, or Newland's Point Sauvignon Blanc for just £6, all with nectar prices. You can shop in-store or online and save big on festive favourites this Christmas with nectar price at Sainsbury's. This offer's for 18+, nectar app required. Prosecco and wine offer ends November the 12th, available in supermarkets and online but excludes locals. Delivery fees may apply, subject to availability. T's and C's apply. Please drink responsibly. On today's Smart 7, BBC Director General Tim Davie resigns, Democrats vote to end US shutdown and much more. It's Monday 10th of November, it's World Immunisation Day, and happy birthday Ellen Pompeo.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Sunday night saw the BBC's Director General Tim Davie and the corporation's head of news, Deborah Furness, both resign. It came after the BBC found itself involved in an ongoing battle this past week with former independent editorial standards advisor Michael Prescott. He made a series of allegations about editorial breaches at the BBC after he left his role this summer. One of the most serious allegations was of misleading editing of a Trump speech on January 6th, which made up part of a Panorama documentary, and BBC Chair Samir Shah was expected to apologise for it on Monday. Former BBC television director Danny Cohen says it was a serious lapse.
It's an opportunity to ask some hard questions about what's been going wrong, to not be defensive, to acknowledge that there is a significant problem. And once you acknowledge there's a problem, you can really begin to deal with it.
The resignations attracted the attention of Donald Trump, who tweeted about very dishonest people, with his press secretary Caroline Leavitt describing the BBC as 100% fake news. Earlier, Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy had defended BBC bosses as Tory leader Kemi Badenoch had called for heads to roll, and now the BBC has lost 2 key leaders at a crucial time. Speaking to Times Radio last month, Davie had defended BBC errors and its overall impartiality.
Look, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, and often in this world people say, "Oh, look, that mistake shows you're this or that." It doesn't often. It's if you like an honest mistake. You put these things right. You keep navigating the course. You've just got to hold your standards.
New Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood is considering a radical shift in the design of the UK's immigration system after numerous failed attempts to smash the smuggling gangs and stop small boat crossings. She dispatched civil servants to Denmark last month with a brief to examine the Danish system, which focuses on tighter rules on family reunions and limiting asylum seekers to shorter stays. Denmark also assessed ongoing threats for those fleeing from conflict and recently sent over 1,200 Syrian refugees home. Labour MP Joe White was asked about the proposal on Sunday.
Once the crisis that has caused them to cross continents has completed and the country that they came from is safe, I think they should go back.
There have been objections from campaigners who see the Danish system as hardcore and touch on some of the proposals from the far right. Labour backbencher Nadia Whittome is not a fan.
The kind of electoral argument for it is very shaky, because what you find is that even where you do win over anti-immigration voters, you're losing progressive voters who are pro-immigration. It's a zero-sum game.
This weekend saw Russia hammer Ukraine with more airstrikes, targeting energy infrastructure as winter draws in. The attacks killed at least 7 people and reduced Ukraine's energy generating capacity to 0, according to the state energy operator, as urgent repairs got underway. Meanwhile, the UK's Chief of the Defence Staff, Sir Richard Knighton, announced on Sunday that the UK will send military support to Belgium to assist them after recent drone incursions on its airspace. But he also had warnings about the UK's own state of preparedness in the event of further Russian escalation.
So we know that we have gaps in things like weapon stockpiles. We know that we don't have all the people that we need. And that's why the Strategic Defence Review set out that these were areas of priority for us to invest in.
Late on Sunday night, there was a breakthrough which could see the US government shutdown come to an end after more than 40 days. A new vote could see funding approved until January, but without the healthcare subsidies Democrats wanted, and most Senate Democrats opposed the vote, which will still have to pass in Congress. Friday had seen the Supreme Court weigh in on a case which sought to force the government to pay those on food stamps for November as part of the SNAP programme. The court granted a temporary injunction to halt the payout to 42 million of the poorest Americans as the Trump administration digs its heels in. Democrat Senator Adam Schiff says he can't understand what Donald is playing at.
They're appealing to the Supreme Court for the right to cut off food from people. Who does that? Who works so hard? Who goes all the way through the court system to cut food from people who need it right now? But that's where they're coming from. The cruelty is part of the policy.
Still to come on today's Smart 7 in association with Metro City Go Second, and the King of Pop makes a return right after this. Hey, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of the Smart 7 is sponsored by Vodafone Business in partnership with Samsung. When you're running your own business, pretty much anywhere can be your office, the spare room, the back garden, or, like here, the local cafe. With the power of Vodafone Business's reliable award-winning network, combined with the Samsung Galaxy S25, there's no limit to what you can do pretty much anywhere. And over the next few weeks, we're going to answer some of the questions you might have about how best to unlock the power of AI in your business. For example,
how can I use AI safely and securely so my data doesn't leak?
choose trusted enterprise-grade tools with clear privacy policies. Avoid pasting sensitive financial or customer data into public systems. We recommend you use paid versions with business security options, apply staff training on data handling, and limit AI access to only the information it needs. With Galaxy AI, you can choose how your data is stored and managed, and with a Samsung Business account, you can also customize what your employees access and their security levels. Getting back to the Samsung Galaxy S25, to take advantage of the Galaxy AI features and change the way you do business, you'll need a Samsung account and a network connection. To find out more, search Vodafone Business Samsung, and for network verification, go to vodafone.co.uk/network. Welcome back. This weekend saw the Brazilian Grand Prix in Sao Paulo, with Lando Norris winning again to cement his lead in the Drivers' Championship. There was plenty of Premier League action too, ahead of next week's international break, with Man United and Spurs drawing on Saturday morning, while Arsenal drew 2-2 at Sunderland on Saturday afternoon. Sunday saw Brentford surprise Newcastle with a 3-1 win, and Pep Guardiola take charge of Man City for his 1,000th game as they faced Liverpool at the Etihad. Pep's side made it look easy with a 3-0 win that puts them up to second.
They gave me a good present, the players, with this performance and against the champions. Still they are the champions, and they had to do a good performance, and players perform in the highest level, all of them. But really pleased for everything.
A new thriller series just dropped on Sky Atlantic. It's called All Her Fault. It's based on a novel by Irish author Andrea Mara, and it tells the story of a mother whose child is missing when she arrives to pick him up from a playdate. The show stars Succession's Sarah Snook, along with Dakota Fanning and Jake Lacey of White Lotus fame. Sarah spoke at the New York premiere about how her real-life mothering experience helped to prep her for the role.
It's every parent's worst nightmare, and imaginatively it's not too hard to kind of go there. I was pretty strict on making sure I left work at work, though, that when I got home it was a different world. It was me and my daughter and my husband.
There's really only been one king of pop, and he was Michael Jackson. Now, there's a new musical biopic on the way that really ticks all the boxes in terms of recreating the Jackson magic, and it's just called Michael. It's produced by Graham King, who made Bohemian Rhapsody. It's written by John Logan, who also wrote Gladiator and Skyfall, and it stars Michael Jackson's nephew Jafar as the man himself. It's got a star-packed supporting cast too, including Miles Teller, Nia Long, and Coleman Domingo as Jackson's father Joe. It looks amazing, and it hits cinemas in April next year.
I know you've been waiting a long time for this. The tracks are made. The songs are ready. Let's take it from the top.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world. Hi, I'm Jamie East, and today's episode of The Smart 7 is brought to you by Sainsbury's, where you can save big on festive favourites with nectar prices. It may be November, but Christmas is just around the corner, and that means you probably need to start your Christmas party planning. But the good news is that if you're looking for value for money this Christmas, Sainsbury's have great discounts to make your festive season truly magical. For example, this week you can get half price on Bailey's Original with 1 litre for just £11, 789 Prosecco for £5.50, or Newland's Point Sauvignon Blanc for just £6, all with nectar prices. You can shop in-store or online and save big on festive favourites this Christmas with nectar price at Sainsbury's. This offer's for 18+, nectar app required. Prosecco and wine offer ends November the 12th, available in supermarkets and online but excludes locals. Delivery fees may apply, subject to availability, T's and C's apply, please drink responsibly.